Oh, I almost knocked my coffee over. All right, hello. Today I wanted to talk about au pair life during COVID and an update on my life and what I'm doing now and in the coming months. Surprisingly, I get a good amount of DMs asking me like, is it worth it to start an au pair year now with the COVID situation being out of control again in most countries. And people just asking like, what is it like? And are you able to do anything? That kind of vibe. And then I also get people asking, and these are more like my friends and family, like, well, what are you gonna do now that your year is almost over and stuff? So I figured I'll just make a video and maybe it can help someone, and at least my grandma will know what's up from this video. So it's the first time in months, I mean, I don't know how many months, a lot of months since I've made a video. And that's because I felt like there was nothing really interesting enough to make a video about. And I could have done like a bunch of, I don't know, to me pointless ones, but I just figured, why would I do that? I'll just wait till I feel like I have something to talk about and something to share. So I've really just been working and enjoying my days off and my time off out by the lake or in the forest that's by here. We had a period in Munich where life was pretty much back to normal for about 3 months in the summer. Not 3 months in the summer. I don't know when it was. Doesn't this year kind of feel like a blur? To me, it does. And in that time when everything felt back to normal, I was going into the city, going to museums, being really safe about COVID. Like, still, everything here had pretty strict guidelines as to how you can still do life but social distance. So for example, the museums only had like 4 people in a room at a time, in a huge room at a time and stuff like that. And anywhere I went, I pretty much was outside and socially distanced. But that's one thing that I will say, if you're gonna start your au pair year during COVID, there are a lot less things to do than you might otherwise have been able to, which might seem obvious, but I feel like if you're coming from the US, you think, oh, Europe must be so much better because the situation there is pretty bad. But actually here, there are a lot of things that are shut down, and a lot of things that I have been wanting to go to have limited access to what you can see. For example, like a castle might have a few rooms that are really kind of important to the tour, just cut off. But that's just something to keep in mind, is that you won't probably be getting to see all the sites that you wanted to see. And especially if you're in a country where it's pretty serious right now. I think France is pretty bad. The Netherlands is getting pretty bad. Spain has been pretty bad. If you're in one of those countries, I don't know the specifics, but I have a feeling that it's even more shut down and strict about going outside and stuff. So that's something to keep in mind. And then along with that is making friends is a lot more difficult, especially with other au pairs, because I've actually heard that some au pair families are not allowing their au pairs to leave the house. But that's mainly for people in really bad, you know, in cities where it's really bad. So I live in like a smaller town and it's not so bad here, and I can obviously leave and be outside and go to restaurants and stuff. but I know that some au pairs aren't allowed to. So it just makes the social scene a lot less active. And people are also very cautious about meeting up, which is understandable. I am too. It's kind of a weird time to just freely go meet new people and do that kind of thing. So that is, yeah, another maybe downside to starting your au pair year now is that you won't jump into like a really active social scene, and you might have to wait to make the friends that you're picturing making. So the upsides to au pairing during quarantine, oh, actually there's one more downside first. It's not a downside at all. It's just something like to keep in mind, is that you are living with kids and you are all home way more often than you otherwise would be. We had a long period where their kindergarten was closed. Yeah, actually that's just the only time that they were home more often. But you do have to realize that you don't really have the house to yourself or anything. That's not what you signed up for. So that is, I think I'm saying a lot. It's because it's so early. I need to start drinking my coffee. But yeah, you signed up to live with kids, so you're gonna be living with kids. And some people would complain about that, but just see it as a way to get closer to them, especially in the beginning. It's much easier when they see you around a lot and they get used to the idea that you're actually living there. So that is, yeah, one of the things that you're gonna maybe think twice about. But now we have the good, really good things. So this whole 8 months, 9 months, I don't even know what month it is. Yeah, probably about 9 months now. Wow, I just realized it's January to February, to October. Today, October 20th, which is also my mom's birthday, happy birthday, Mom, is exactly 9 months since I've been here, because I got here January 20th. Okay, very cool. In this 9 months, I've had a lot of time to self-reflect and spend time in nature, and it's been a really cool thing to do so far from home, because if you're coming on an au pair year, you're likely someone who does want to get away from home, wants to have an adventure, wants to maybe expand their comfort zone, and learning so much about yourself while you're away from home is a really good way to do that. And most people think you have to be hopping from, you know, different cities each weekend and meeting all these new friends and blah, blah, blah. But really, to be alone and away from home is probably the biggest learning experience ever. And when it's in a pandemic, it's that times 10. So you really have so much time to journal and to go out into nature if you're around nature where you're au pairing. Really spend time alone, and some people might hate that. I have really come to enjoy it, but I guess you're only as alone as you make yourself. So it's sometimes impossible to meet friends because of the pandemic, but you can always be closer with your host family. And you can also use FaceTime and all that fun stuff to connect with people. So it's a good time for self-reflection and self-growth. And in that sense, I wouldn't say, you know, if you're coming into your au pair experience thinking, yeah, I want to really push myself and do something different and crazy, you should still do it for that reason, because it's definitely different and crazy right now. And that aspect hasn't changed. If anything, got more intense. So if you do it, expect to be learning a lot about yourself on an even deeper level, because you'll be possibly in quarantine. Another good thing is really getting to know where you are and the people you're staying with and the day-to-day life of the city or the country that you're in. So I have been all around my little area, and I have been into Munich more times than I probably otherwise would have because I'm staying here on my days off rather than traveling. So I go into Munich and I've seen all the museums and all the sites and gotten to know little restaurants that I like and stuff like that. So that's, I mean, the most in-depth look at a city or a town that you could have, because you're kind of forced to be in one area at a time. There's so many birds now that it's fall. I guess they're big enough now to fly around. So yeah, you really get a good look at it. And I know I keep bringing this up, but you get to know a new part of nature. You get to know new climates. I mean, I'm from Miami, Florida, so I'm used to hot tropical climate all year round. And here it's just now becoming fall. We have beautiful leaves changing. It's really cold. Everyone here says it's way colder than usual for this time of year. And it's just really cool to get to know like a new area of nature. And I have this like little spot in the forest that I always go to, and it's been really cool seeing it through the seasons. And this is probably the last season I'll see it in. And that segues into my plans for the coming few months. It's really quite simple. I'm moving to Amsterdam to be an au pair there. So I am really excited about this because, as I've said, the sad part is that I came here to kind of travel and see Europe, and I've only been able to stay in one area for the whole time, which is probably the least of anyone's problems in this pandemic. So I'm very grateful. But I'm excited because this is going to be a new city and a new family and an absolutely refreshing experience. So the plan is to go there. These acorns fall from the tree and they smack my window so loud. The plan is to go there in late November, and I mean, that's it. There's not much to it. I was gonna travel during the month of November because I thought about this before the second wave of COVID was here, and now it is here, and so it really is pretty stupid to go to major cities in Germany when they are all hotspots. And that wouldn't be fair to the family I'm going to live with. So I'm not going to travel. I still might go to a farm here in Bavaria, but that is to be determined. I think I'll decide that once we get into November, which is so close. Can you guys believe it? This year has gone by so fast. And I might do that for like 3 or 4 days, just for like a little relaxing vacation before I go to a city. And then I'll move there, and it's gonna be crazy. I feel like I have a lot of stuff to do before that because I need to, I've accumulated a lot of clothes. I feel just a little bit all over the place. I do have to send some stuff back home because I have a lot of books. I'm looking at them now. I have a lot of books that I've accumulated, and that's the type of thing that I want to keep them because I love certain ones. But I don't need them with me as I'm traveling. But it's really weird, like you feel like you're settled and you can just accumulate these things like as if it's your house, and then suddenly it's time to leave. That's another thing, is people have asked me different variations of, is it sad that you're leaving? Are the girls sad? How is the family? And it is really, really sad. You get to know the kids so well, and they're so used to you being here that you kind of picture leaving and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to see them when they get home from school and in the mornings and stuff like that. So yeah, that is really sad. I don't know if they really understand it. I know the older one understands it because she can remember the other au pairs. The younger one though is too young to really get it. I think she maybe thinks I'm like going on vacation or something. But she will understand it, and that'll be really sad. So hopefully I can come visit them. They always talk about visiting Miami, which is funny. So we'll see. But that's that. I'm trying to think of any other questions. I would talk more about the family that I'm going to move in with in Amsterdam, but I haven't actually even mentioned this video thing, this YouTube thing, because I haven't done it and I didn't think I would do it again, honestly, because that's a whole other thing. But I want to talk to them about it first before I blast them on the internet. I wouldn't even do that. I would just talk about how excited I am. But yeah, so I think that covers it before I talk for too long. I know it's boring to have a talking video, but I wanted to answer questions that I get so much. And I haven't even taken a sip of my coffee, but it's so hot. Okay, so that's the end of this video. You can like it and subscribe for more videos about being an au pair and living abroad. I'm about to go for a run because it's a beautiful morning here, and I hope you have a lovely day, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. All right, bye.